Silver and gold, major breaking stories, big news that we're going to cover in this video. We're going to change our perspective on precious metals by the time we wrap this up. There's so much going on. We're going to start with an update on the price because it is crazy today. I was looking like an hour ago, silver was down more than $1. And then I just checked before I came on and it made quite a recovery. Let's go take a look at the silver price. We'll start with the spot price of silver, and we're down 33 cents. Gold is down $70 per ounce. So we've made a bit of a comeback in the silver market. Now let's go over to the futures market where we can see what those fine folks at the Comex are quoting for silver. Looks like over there we have $87. Wow, up $1.27 in the futures market. And I want to point this out, guys. I was looking at this right before we came on. Hey, look, I know we've been through a bit of volatility as of late, but everywhere we look on this chart, we see upward trends. Now, of course, right, this, I don't know what you call this. This right here, let's just talk about this real quickly. This part right here, right, where we had that move where we went up to $120, that was really a parabolic move. I won't call it a bubble per se, but that was really a parabolic move. And it's natural when things like this occur that we have a pullback. The super encouraging thing that we can see on the silver chart right now. And then we're going to talk about the Comex. Yes, we have a warning about the Comex. We've got proof of manipulation that we're going to look at here in a little bit. But the encouraging thing on this chart is right here. Between about 70, wow, and we're all the way up at $87 right now. But between about 75 and let's say $85, we are in the process of building a strong base, right? We are consolidating within that range. And you know what? Everything, any market, it doesn't matter what you're looking at, after it consolidates, it builds a base. The people that don't want to be in silver anymore, the short timers, right? They're going bye-bye. They've been going bye-bye for the last 2 or 3 weeks. A lot of those people that joined, right, us in the silver camp, when silver went from $85 to $120, bye-bye, they're gone. They didn't mean to stick around anyway. They were just trying to make a quick buck. Now, in the $75 to $85 range, the real people, the real silver rangers, the real basement dwellers like us, right, are building a stronger and stronger foundation from which we can, I believe, expect to see much higher silver prices. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. But I am your friend. And on that note, I want to say something to you, my fellow basement dwellers. I'm honored and pleased on behalf of Upstairs Susie and myself to say thank you for being down here. We want you to come back. This is a friendly environment. We love silver and gold. We've got camaraderie, a sense of togetherness. Please subscribe to the channel. It's free. That way you'll know every time we go live. Hit the bell notification. Leave a comment in the comment section. And please, 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 super chats, super thanks, donations, never expected, always appreciated. Let's go see what's going on at the Comex, and then we're going to look later on about some proof, I think we can call this, that the silver price is indeed manipulated at the Comex. But we're going to go to our friend, the International Stacker. I think that's the community that always has the crabs running around. We love them. And actually, somebody in the silver and gold community told me he met this guy, International Stacker, and he's a super nice, super high quality guy. So anyway, thank you for this info, International Stacker, who says, breaking the Comex. Okay, this is an update on what's going on at the Comex, right? The March contract that's setting to expire, this big potential for fireworks that could happen. They just rolled another 6,320 silver contracts forward, but there are still 37,600 contracts hanging out there. That's equal to 188.2 million ounces that are still demanding physical. But, and I like big butts, I will not lie, while registered in the vaults is sitting just at 88 million. So I don't think we need to be Albert Eisenhower to do the math on this one. There's, as of this morning, 188 million ounces that are demanding physical, but only 88 million in the vaults. That would be, let's do some complex math. Oh, there's a 100 million ounce shortfall as of this morning. Paper promises versus real, 2 times the claims on available supply. Look, I've shared with you my opinion on this situation. The Comex very likely will not blow up, okay? They will find a way to kick the can down the road. However, what this tells us in no uncertain terms is that there is massive stress in the physical market for silver. And we're going to look at a lot more evidence that that's the case as we work our way through this live stream video together. But before we do that, let's talk about a massive sea change, a massive paradigm shift in the overall markets that's very, very good for the precious metals. And what I'm talking about is yesterday we had a pretty much major collapse in almost every segment of the overall markets, but with the exception of silver and gold. And let's go out and take a look, and I'll tell you why it's so important and why it is such a big, big deal. See if I can get this to move up. Okay, from Metals and Miners. All right, headline, Sea of Red, a tide of gold. A sea change. Risk off as fear grips the markets yesterday, and the VIX spikes. The VIX is the volatility index. It measures basically how worried people are about the market. Stocks crater, and gold, silver, and the miners surge. There's a big reason why this is important. In green, this was not a coincidence. It was a clear and undeniable signal that the great rotation, I'm calling it a sea change to go with this tide comment early, or paradigm shift, however you want to say it, is firmly underway as fear grips the broader market. Capital is making a strong statement to the safety of real money. All right. And then they got a whole list down here, market, general market bloodbath, the VIX spiked. But the big takeaway here, guys, is look, traditionally, gold and silver were safe haven assets. They used to react inversely to the overall markets. This was 20 years ago when I first got into the metals. It was like a hedge that you would use again. That kind of went away, but it's back now. And it's not going to happen every single day, but the trend is definitely developing. Remember like 5 years ago, what everybody would say is, well, if the stock market crashes, gold and silver are going to crash too, blah, blah, blah. And for a while, that was kind of true. That happened during C19. Remember when silver dropped to like, what, $12 per ounce for like one day? But things are different now. We are in a different environment, and more what we are experiencing is that when the general markets, when the stock market, when the bond market, when these markets go into red like my shirt, right, gold and silver are continuing to be strong. In days like yesterday, when everything was red, right, but silver and gold were green, that is a new, going back to a trend that really never went away, right? In the fact that gold and silver can do well in these environments. It happened during the Great Depression. It happened during many other periods of time when gold and silver performing. And the reason why, think about this. This is why. Because when investors are out there, and like that article said, the capital flows, and they're thinking, okay, do I want to put my money in the stock market? Everybody knows the overall stock market, the tech stocks, the Mag 7, it's a big bubble, trouble. What about real estate? Commercial real estate? It stinks, right? Residential real estate? I can't believe what Zillow or whoever says this house is worth, right? It's in a bubble. The bond market, who wants to buy U.S. debt? Not the Chinese, not the whole world, right? The point here is that the menu of attractive investment options is becoming a bit constrained. And silver and gold, which have always been the world's reserve currency, are looking more and more attractive. So we are in the middle of a major sea change right now. We can definitely continue to see, and I believe we will see, that the precious metals will and can perform well despite whatever chaos the general markets throw at us. Okay, let's talk about Mexico, and then we're going to talk about what's going on at the Comex and proof. This is awesome proof that there's manipulation at the Comex. But guys, Mexico, when we talk about silver, nothing's more important than Mexico. They produce more silver than any other country on the world. And there have been big problems in Mexico. And some people are speculating that this could have an impact on the supply of silver coming into the market. Now, again, we don't need to be Albert Eisenhower to remember that when supply goes down and demand goes up, which is the case with silver, usually there's only one thing that fixes that, and that's a higher price. So let's look at what's going on in Mexico right now. It has to do with the cartels, and I want to emphasize one thing. This is happening in parts of Mexico, but people, so we don't want to be too sensational about this, but Hamza Serne shared with us, if cartel chaos spreads in Mexico, and again, this is not affecting all the silver miners, it's happening in parts of Mexico, watch silver, all right? They're the world's #1 silver producer, almost 25% of global mine supply. But what they're doing down there are road blockades plus logistic disruptions, creating chaos. But even short-term transport issues can tighten up an already structurally tight market. So look, it'll be interesting. It's unfortunate. We don't like to see any chaos or violence occurring in the world, but it is happening in parts of Mexico, and it could have an impact on the supply of silver coming into the overall general markets. Are you ready for some Comex manipulation? We're going to do that next. First, I want to say thank you to channel sponsor right there, First Mint, right? They are the silver specialist mint in Las Vegas, Nevada, right? First Majestic Silver mines the silver, one of the world's premier silver mining companies. First Majestic owns First Mint, so they send the silver from the mine directly to First Mint, where it's transformed into these world-class silver bullion products like this one right here, the Year of the Horse coin, which I absolutely love. Check that out. Isn't that beautiful? That is just, I don't know. I love all silver. This is a beautiful coin, but then it goes directly to you. Never gets touched by the Comex, who we're going to talk about here in a second, who some people have accused of manipulating the price of silver. We'll talk about that in 1 second. So from the mine to the mint to you, there's a great discount code, VIPRB. Let me show you their website. If you want to go out there for yourself, there it is right there, firstmint.com. There's their Year of the Dragon round. There's the Year of the Horse I just showed you. And there's their Buffalo round with the Indian head that I love, and the Las Vegas round. Again, there's a discount code, VIPRB. Let's talk about the Comex, all right, and some manipulation. I've got a special treat for you today. Wrong one. Hold on here, guys. Having a little tech issue. Now we're back. Okay, now we're going to go there right now. There we go. So this came from Peak Financial Investing, okay? And this is a little video we're going to watch the beginning of, where this gentleman clearly shows that on February 16th, where we had a bad day in the silver market, clearly shows how this manipulation happens. Here we go.
This is what happened. Here we are in the overnight markets. Silver's just sort of, this is trading, comes up, goes down, people are trading. All of a sudden, somebody starts to put their foot on the gas pedal, and you can see here, so this is 1,000 contracts right here. So that's nearly, it's 1,400 contracts. So that's about 7 million ounces of silver was sold in a single 5-minute candle. 5 minutes of time. And so that's just like a huge smash. And then it sort of bounces back. And then this smash, these are what we call price setting. If you were legitimately, Paul, had a position you wanted to get out of, you would never push the sell button at 8 o'clock at night and throw them all into the market at that exact moment, because you would get the absolute worst price, unless your intent was to make the price go lower. That's price setting, not price discovery. And so we saw smash after smash, smash. Look at these big giant bars, right? So that's what, and do we actually have that much silver to sell? No, No, we don't.
Okay. Man, I love that. What a great video. Like he said, all right, all those big red candles, but the first one, it was what, 8 p.m. at night when nobody's trading. Okay. 7 million ounces of silver sold in 5 minutes. Whoa, stop. Think about this. Okay. 7 million ounces is almost 1% of the entire year's mine supply of silver in 5 minutes. An entire year, 1% of an entire year's worth in 5 minutes. I mean, to me, that video, probably one of the best I've ever seen, clearly demonstrates that the price of silver is managed, I think the word was. Definitely not free market price setting, right? Like, who wants to sell 7 million ounces of silver just randomly at 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night? It doesn't make any sense. And again, that data that he was showing was from February 16th. You want to get more excited about silver? We got 4 reasons when we look at the silver deficit chart that we're going to look at right now to get excited. I got to look at my list, but let's pull this up. One of my favorite charts that all of us, right? This gives us so much great optimism about what's going on in the silver market. The silver supply demand model is broken. Okay, and I'll just go down here and I'll read this to you. I'm going to pull this up on the screen. So this, guys, the red part on this graph is the silver deficit. Where's my markers? There they are. And we will go with, I think you want gold today. What the heck, right? Okay, so this part right here, that's the silver deficit. Now, obviously, these are the years down here, right? Up through 2025, we've had 5 years of a silver deficit. You probably knew that already, but what I want to point out to you is 4 reasons why we can be super excited about what's going on. One more thing, the top line here, right? That's demand, as you can see right there. This line down here, obviously, is supply. But when we consider 4 factors, we can get even more excited about what's happening in the silver market right now. Number 1, we hit peak silver production way back here, okay? Right? You can see it on the line. There's the supply. And as you can see, silver production not collapsing, but definitely on a downward trend. The other big critical thing to remember about this is that Phillips Baker, the former CEO of Hecla Mining, United States of America, largest and oldest silver mining company, he recently said on Kitco that silver output from the mining sector is not going to start to trend upward again until the year 2030. So we hit peak in 2016. We aren't going to start going up until 2030. We've got this massive deficit, okay? But on top of that, was it UBS that just came out earlier this week or over the weekend and said now they're estimating that for 2026, the silver deficit could be 300 million ounces. So one more time, I'm going to pull that chart up for you, because when we look at this, guys, this is absolutely crazy. That would be way bigger of a deficit. I think this one here was 250 million. So we could be talking about demand going way up and obviously supply continuing, right, at best to meander along roughly where it is right now. And on top of that, as Hamza says in his post, demand for silver does continue to accelerate and shows no signs of breaking down. Okay, period. All right. And on top of that, one more thing. When we look at that, that's industrial demand for silver. We haven't even seen investment demand come back yet. Remember, this is something we love to talk about down here in the basement. We are like the Green Berets of the investing world. We're like the Navy SEALs, right? We're like the top 2%. Most people have no clue about silver and gold. So we could, I think we will, but we could see a big wave of new people coming into the precious metal sector in the West. We know in China, we know in India, it's already there. I'm talking about the West. I'm talking about your Uncle Fred and your coworker Billy, right? Those people who have no clue. We love those people. We like to affectionately refer to them as the sheeple. And when they come, it could be too late. Okay. That could be the bonus on top. That fundamental, just wanted to do a quick review. Fundamental factor behind. Thank you, Upstairs Susie. Upstairs Susie said we got some super chats. We'll get to those in a little bit. But fundamentally, the story for silver has never, ever been better. And what about China? Oh, gosh, just so we want to make sure. China reopened. I'm sorry. Should have made it. So I wore my red shirt today. China reopened their Shanghai Gold Exchange, Shanghai Futures Exchange. And let's just do a quick update to make sure nothing's changed when it comes to the strange phenomena that in China, where they have a much more physical market, the price of silver, for some strange reason, is significantly higher than in the United States. Here we go. This came from William Middlecoop, who says the Shanghai silver is still trading at a 10% premium. Happy Chinese New Year. Yes, welcome back to all our friends in China. And on this chart, the red line is the Shanghai spot price. The yellow line is the Western price. And as you can see, the Shanghai price, we're going to look at that here in a second, $97.21. In the United States, or the Western price, $88, a full $9 or 10% lower. And we missed him. We love him, right? He's a legend in the precious metals community. Our good friend, the Oriental Ghost, gives us an update for today, February 24th, from the Shanghai Gold Exchange and the Shanghai Futures Exchange. For those of you who are new, that's the SGE and the SHFE. This is the SGE is a 99% physical market, okay? And if we go here and look at AG, which is silver on the Shanghai Gold Exchange, we see $96.99. Why couldn't they just bump it up another penny for 97? But what's crazy on this chart, guys, is this number right here, $100, right? That's US dollars right there, $100.79. That's the silver price on the Shanghai Futures Exchange. So we can officially celebrate that we have $100 silver in China. But wait, there's more. Because we can look at the different Chinese markets, whatever, but a really smart way to look at what the real price for silver is in China is to hear what the recyclers are paying for it. For scrap silver, 99% pure silver. Because these guys, the recyclers, like if you take aluminum cans to your local recycling center, if you live in the United States, they're going to give you like the lowest price they can for your aluminum cans. Well, the same thing's true with a silver recycler in China. Whatever price they're giving, you can rest assured that's like a very accurate price of what quality silver scrap is selling for in China. And wait till you hear this. And I think they named this market after us. Oh, shoot. Hold on here. Oh, no. Hold on, guys. Hold on. We got a little. Here we go. I'm back. Oh. Okay. Now we're back. Right? Okay, cool. Wall Street Bulls. Sorry about that tech issue. Hopefully you can see me and hear me. Shanghai silver squeeze alert. Okay. While the official exchanges are closed, Shenzhen's, here it is. Here's the company. They named it after us. Ron Qitong Gold is flashing a massive warning sign. Their physical buyback price, all right, has hit $95.40 per ounce. Wow. A direct signal that the industrial demand is panicking for supply. And actually, I may have been wrong. That's not a recycler. That's even a better sign. That's like at the market itself. Nonetheless, if they're willing to pay $95 per ounce physical, that's physical metal. And that's like when you go to the coin shop in the United States, whatever their buyback price is, they're going to pay you as little as possible. So if as little as possible in China for the buyback price is $95 per ounce, who knows? And that's if you're selling to them. What do you got to pay to buy it? Maybe that $100 per ounce that we looked at 1 second ago. I do want to say thank you to First Mining Gold also for making this live stream possible, us to be able to get together. They are a development stage gold mining company in Canada. They have 2 multi-million ounce projects, Springpole in Ontario and Du Parquet located in Quebec. They also have a Cameron project located in Ontario. They have big development stage projects with millions of ounces of gold in the ground in Canada. That is a rarity. Canada is becoming a premier gold mining jurisdiction, and First Mining Gold is working these projects through the development stage. You can learn more about them at firstmininggold.com. And thank you, First Mining Gold, for sponsoring Ron's Basement. And remember, guys, I'm not a stockbroker. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. There's risks involved with any investment decision. Okay, next up, what about India? Let's go to India and see what's happening there. India is announcing, all right, this is getting a ton of attention. Gold imports just printed a new record. Strong buying from the East adds another layer of confluence to gold's momentum as physical flows tighten and macro drivers stay supportive. I believe, yeah, this is from Tavi Costa. But look at that, guys. This is India. This is gold being imported into India. You know, we don't need to be like a big chart technical analyst to see an overall massive upward trend, right? And remember, there's 1.4 billion people in India, all of which essentially love gold and silver. Okay. It is embedded within their culture. It's also embedded within the Chinese culture. So, whoa, take a step back. That's a big, big deal because there's 1.4 billion people in each of those countries. Together, China and India have nearly 3 billion humans, all 99% of them that love silver and gold. But wait, there's more, because consider the fact that both China and India have 2 of the most rapidly growing economies in the world. People who suddenly find themselves with a little extra money that they don't just have to spend on food and housing, and they're using that to buy physical metal. Because the other interesting thing about China and India is, generally speaking, from what I've been told and what I've discovered from talking to people from those countries, they don't trust paper money, especially India, right? They've been through some major currency devaluations. So good news still to come from there as well. JP Morgan tells us $8,000 gold. Let's touch on that. That JP Morgan, right? The ones who've been, let's say influential in the precious metals prices in the past. They say they see a case, this comes from the Gladiator, for $8,000 gold. Let's read this quote. Even with the recent near-term volatility, we remain firmly, bullishly convinced in gold over the medium term on the back of clean, structural, continued diversification trends that has further to run. All right. And for your oh, shoot, I forgot to show the screen. Hold on. You had to look at me looking up at the ceiling. Hold on, guys. That's what we were just looking at. Thank you upstairs, Susie. But we got one more. I'm going to share this one for sure because I think this describes you. Yeah, you basement dweller. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel. Let's go check this one out. It's hilarious. Mike Maloney, right? Put this one out. Here's to the crazy one. So a little girl sitting on dad's lap says, Daddy, how did you get so rich? And dad says, I realized that the financial system was a Ponzi scheme and made a big bet on silver while everybody else called me crazy. And the little boy on the bottom says, you freaking legend, Dad. Hey, guys, please also don't forget, if you're looking for a fun and very effective way to store something valuable, maybe you've got a safe at your house. Maybe you have a safety deposit box. Maybe you store stuff in the rafters of your house. But you can also consider this right here, the Dirty Man Safe, okay? I love these things. When they first sent it to me, see it right there? Dirty Man Safe. You bury these in the ground. They come with a tube. It has a cap. This is the coolest thing. They open at the bottom. Okay, you can put whatever you choose inside there, right, and bury it. And don't tell anybody where you buried it, except maybe one person. Don't tell me, right? And you can store and save things in a safe in the ground. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, that's because that's what the pirates did for years and years. And people are still trying to find buried pirate treasure. Why? Because the earth is the best place to store things, safe from fire, safe from flood, safe from all forms of natural disaster. Again, you can check them out right there, dirtymansafe.com. Oh, and the discount code, RON10, RON10, and you'll get a discount and maybe a few other goodies thrown in there as well. All right, that's it. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Super chats. Yeah, thank you, Susie. Man, upstairs, Susie. Everybody, please, for those of you who are new, that's my lovely and talented wife upstairs, Susie. She communicates with us via walkie-talkie and reminds me when I screw up. And let's go out here to the comments right now. Wow. Okay, Renegade Designer. Thank you. You're famous on the internet and you're always giving me super chats. And I just want to say thank you. We appreciate it. And Jimmy Blue to you. Silver and crab cakes, perfect together. Yeah, that's the international stacker guy, the crab guy. I think that's what you're referring to. And like I said, he's loved in the silver and gold community. Everybody I've asked about him, they're like, oh, yeah, he's super cool, super nice, great channel, great content. Hey, what's great is that you decided to join us down here in the basement. Have a great, great day, and I'll look forward to seeing you. Yes, I see you. I'll see you next time. Take care.